Go.
We are at an undisclosed location in the Carp Hills in Ottawa's West End, and a group of volunteers from Friends of the Carp Hills hover over a turtle hatchling they've just placed on the ground next to some water. The wee turtle is moving in slow-mo, taking its sweet time to look around.
Yeah, exactly. Soaking up all the camera angles.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, those folks can't help but feel a bit of pride at how this little fella has grown. After all, they knew the turtle when it was still tucked inside an egg. As we've been hearing on the morning news, the Canadian Wildlife Federation has been trying to help at-risk turtles in Ottawa make it to adulthood, and it starts with protecting their nests, even scooping up their eggs, placing them in an incubator, and releasing the hatchlings back into the wild. But the Federation relies on individuals and groups like Friends of the Carp Hills to help these turtles avoid trouble. For more on what they get up to, we've reached Janet Mason. She's chair of the Friends of the Carp Hills. Good morning.
Good morning, Giacomo. Thank you for having me.
Well, thanks for joining us. So you were the one holding the camera for that turtle release on Sunday. What was it like to see that in person?
It's incredibly satisfying. We spent so much time organizing the effort, recruiting the volunteers, and then taking the time to do all the monitoring. And then you see the actual little turtles heading off into the pond. It's just so satisfying and actually joyful as well. And
do you know roughly how many turtle hatchlings or even eggs before that you've ended up with incubating?
No, not yet. We're waiting for all the statistics at the end of the season. We'll get those from CWF. We know how many nests or where we're collected from, but we'll find out how many of the actual eggs were successfully hatched at the end of probably August, early September.
Are we talking dozens, hundreds, thousands?
Oh, no. I think for ours, it'll probably be under 100.
But your group is Friends of the Carp Hills. Why did you take on this area of helping turtles at risk?
Well, the Carp Hills are actually critical habitat for the Blanding's turtle in particularly, which is a species at risk. And we did a study of a particular area in 2019 with an ecologist. And it was noted that there were a lot of unsuccessful nests that had been preyed upon. And so when we received a donation this year that allowed us to actually hire monitors to allow us to patrol particular areas and along roads, and that we just did this for two reasons. One was, of course, to protect the turtles, and particularly the Blanding's turtles, and also to learn more about where they were laying, what the issues were, to inform future activities.
Right. We heard in Matthew Kupfer's piece here on the radio that these turtles can pick what they think might be a great place, but turns out to be a pretty risky place.
Yes, and I'm not the expert in this. Dave Seaburn certainly is, but what we found was turtles are certainly attracted to the roadsides. They love the gravel. That's a perfect substrate for them to lay eggs in. And so we did spend a fair amount of our time patrolling the roads. And turtles often lay in the early morning and in the evening, often overnight as well. And that's when our monitors were out. And in fact, the majority of our turtles were found along the roadsides. And some of those eggs were collected by CWF, and they have a permit to do that. You're not allowed to collect eggs on your own. And some, where possible, we added nest protector boxes, which are placed over the eggs so that they cannot be preyed upon, but there are little holes that the turtle hatchlings can get out when they do hatch.
Right. And people wondering, well, isn't mom coming back to check? That's not how it works with turtles.
No.
They lay their eggs and then it's good luck.
Yep, they lay their eggs and then they're gone.
That's right. So, I mean, the side of the road, you'd have a nest protected there. Would that still work, or was that a candidate for absolutely moving the eggs?
It depends on how far into the road shoulder, and this is really on the judgment of CWF, but if they're farther back, closer to the ditch or whatever, then the protector will not get in the way of any cars or maintenance going on. But and certainly any Blandings turtles' nests were collected. The eggs were collected because they lay small clutches and they are the most threatened of the species, although all turtles are threatened. And also some of the snapping turtle nests were collected as well. We also did monitoring in the Carp Hills itself. There's very thin soils up in the Carp Hills, and yet turtles still try to nest there. And what we found is we were able to put some nest protectors over some of the uneven ground, but sometimes we couldn't. So again, we called CWF in to collect those eggs.
All right, well, Matthew Cooper even shared how one turtle tried in a baseball diamond too.
Yeah, I heard about that, yes.
Yeah.
And they do it in driveways too.
Wow. So what do you want people to know, people here, and especially in your neck of the woods, just about what they need to keep in mind if they come across this as they're commuting around, as they're out and about in the area?
Well, there's two things. The first is one of our, I think, outreaches next year will be to some of the hot spots that we've learned about in the Carp Hills area or in the Carp area. And we'd like to set up individual community leaders that will have these nest protector boxes. And so that the communities can actually, take control or, become stewards themselves rather than relying on people coming in all the time. Because, there's just not enough of us to do it. So that's the first thing is we'd like communities to kind of organize and become more involved and protect those turtle nests. And I think the second thing is that, if you're not involved in a community and you see this happening, there are ways to outreach. If you're in the Carp area, we've indicated we can be contacted, but then there is the Canadian Wildlife Federation, and they have various contact information that's available through their website.
Right. I saw people posting to your Facebook group as well saying, I just found this turtle here on the side of the road. Please help me. And people respond. And they're like, try using the car mat from your car to get the turtle to bite it. And you can help drag it across the road. I don't know if that's something you want people to do or not.
Well, that's the snapping turtles are tricky. But yeah, the one thing, if you're not seeing a turtle laying, but it's trying to cross the road, anything you can do to get it to the other side, because there's so many turtles that are killed on the road. They're just run over. And in fact, we I think documented 2 or 3 dead Blandings turtles during this summer, just in our area.
Well, Janet, congratulations for the work you've accomplished here, to you and the team there. And thank you for telling us about it.
Well, thank you very much for your interest. And we're very proud of our monitors and what we've done too. So thank you so much.
Janet Mason is chair of the Friends of the Carp Hills. You can find them on Facebook or on this website, carphills.com. And you can read up more on this story by heading to cbcottawa.ca. And we'll tweet out a link from the Ottawa Morning Twitter feed.